Hello everyone, you're looking at the GovReports end of financial year payroll events. I'm Maria Landrelli. So GovReports has three different solutions for payroll end of year reporting. So for the BAS agent, tax agent, we have the ST reporting for the micro business where you can report quarterly or more often at the time you're doing the BAS for the client. And PAYG summaries are still available if required. Now for the business owners, GovReports has a solution that is a basic payroll calculator and it's called STP reporting module. So we'll go into my client and we're going to look at Racina Proprietary Limited, and if we go to more and the actions and go to forms, you'll see that we've still got the payment summaries there, but we're going to look at the STP payroll events. So if we select that, we've then got the details for the organisation and we can do various options. You can add employees as you go along, and you may have to add them if you get a new employee, and you can do manual entry or import them in. Because I've already lodged three of the previous quarters, July to March, I'm just going to do a rollover because it means it brings in all of the details for me automatically. So I'll just click on the rollover button here and it's asking me which one I want to roll over, and it's showing my previous three quarters with one employee each. So I'm going to pick my last one, and the dates that I'm looking at is the 1st of April 2020 to 30th of June 2020. So if I just click on the submit button, it brings in the details and it brings in the employee details there. So my date of payment is 30th of June 2020 and my quarterly gross figure is $10,000 and my total PAYG for the quarter is 2201. I can then go to the employee and enter in the year to date. So if I go to actions against the employee and edit, you'll see it brings in the employee details. It's got my dates in there. I can choose to do the final indicator here, which will then lodge with the ATO that this is the final pay of the year, and it will then process it to the employee's MyGov account so that they can actually do the tax return. And I'll click on here, but I'll also show where you can add it in later on the previous screen. So we can enter in the 40,000, which is the gross payment. His individual tax for the year to date is 8805. Now you'll see that there's various other options here, and the ones that are the ones that I previously entered details. But being that we've got the April quarter, there may be some allowances for JobKeeper. There may be some other options, for example, termination payments, lump sum payments. You can even do the personal services income payment summary for contractors and so forth. We've got our superannuation here, so we've got the Superannuation Guarantee is the year-to-date amount of $3,800. We might have had some risk in there for him because at the end of the year he might have done a lump sum payment. We've also got options for reporting the fringe benefit tax. Now I have ticked the final event indicator here, but say I hadn't done it from there, I could have selected the employee and it gives me the option to do a final event indicator and also do a JobKeeper start and finish if the employee has elected to go in or out during that particular period. We've got the all-important declaration because as BAS agents, and this is the BAS agent software, we've got that we must have the authorisation from the client to lodge on their behalf. So we have a declaration button that says I've prepared this payroll report in accordance with the information supplied. It's got my details and the date, and then we've got the various information down the bottom. We can save it as a draft, which I tend to prefer, send it off to the client for signature, whether it's I'm on site or I'm going to send it for an e-signature and I can validate it and send it for the signature or lodge it. So I'm going to lodge this particular one here and then click the submit button. So it's going to submit those details and you'll see then it is now processing it, which will take a couple of minutes. So the next software solution we're going to look at is the IAM software. So I'm just going to switch between the GovReports software to the IAM IMSTP. So for those of you that aren't aware of the IMSTP, it's a basic payroll calculator. So it actually has pay slips which you can provide to the employee. It does the STP. A BAS agent can be connected to it, and also you have unlimited employees and unlimited STP lodgements. So I've come into my client's STP payroll reporting. So if I go to the payroll and then the payroll events and the pay run, so I can see my list of previous pay events that have gone through. My last pay event was on the 5th of June, which covered the period from the 23rd of May to the 5th of June, and it's got my 2 employees that are there. So I'm now about to process the next fortnight, which goes from Saturday the 6th of June to Friday the 19th of June. So we can do a new pay run directly from here, and it just means you need to enter in the details for the employee. I prefer to actually roll it over so that if I select my 2 employees, I can then do a rollover. And it'll give me my starting and ending dates, which is 6th of June 2020 to the pay period ending 19th of June 2020. The transaction date is 19th of June 2020 and the payment date is 19th of June 2020. You'll see it has the option here to mark it as post, and if you know 100% that there is nothing that needs to be changed, that everything is okay, you can post it directly from here. But we need to go in and edit and have a look and just double check that everything is okay. And you'll see it's now created draft pay slips for this particular employee. So if we click on John Kennedy and we can go and edit his details, you'll see there it's automatically got his wages that are there, which is a total of $1,500. Because he's already earning $1,500 for the fortnight, we have no top-up, even if he's in the JobKeeper system. They might have some deductions, and the super is working out correctly down here. We also have the options for if there's reportable fringe benefits and exempt income or CDEP down the bottom here. And we also have the option for a final event indicator. Now let's assume that we don't have that. The client is actually processing the payroll themselves and then they come in and ask you later on. If the client has made a mistake and they have actually done the final event indicator, and then when you've done your double checking you realise that they've made a mistake, you can come in here and do a full event replacement, and that will replace everything that they had lodged. So I'm just going to turn that off at the moment under both employees. So that was for John, and I'm now going to go into Scott, who's still the draft, and I'm going to edit his. And we have got a change here because he actually worked a little bit extra, so he is going to have $1,000 as wages, which means his JobKeeper top-up for the fortnight is only $500. We've automatically, once we process it, it'll adjust the tax and the super and so forth. Again, I'm going to turn off the final event indicator at this stage, and we could, if he had terminated during this period, put in a cessation date here as well. But we'll just save those changes, and you'll see that it's now the 2 of them have been edited. You can process them from here. I actually prefer to do it under the pay runs just so that I can still see everything, and I've still got my 2 employees here. It's now showing the $1,000. The tax is the same but combined Scott still earned $1,500 and John earned $1,500, and that's the correct fortnightly PAYG. However, you'll see with the super, John is the full 9.5% on the $1,500, whereas Scott is 9.5% on the $1,000. So next we would go in and mark as posted, and we'll click OK here. So it's now posted it, but it hasn't been lodged with the ATO. So we need to go and do the prepare STP. No, I need to select my 2 employees and prepare the STP. And it comes up with the details for this pay period, the 6th to the 19th of June, 2 employees, $3,000, the PAYG and the date of the payment. So I click next. It confirms my 2 employees and it shows the correct year-to-date amount that's going to be lodged with the allowances and the taxes and so forth. So I'm going to click next. We've still got the declaration, but this would usually be from the client's point of view if they're processing it. In this case, it's got my details in here, so I'll just declare those and lodge them. So you'll see it's now processing that status. Now, as I said, if you've made a mistake or the client has made a mistake and you've realised it when you're checking it, you would need to go in and do a full file replacement by going into the previous lodgements and the history and the saved report. However, we won't cover that at the moment, but it's an easy process. So that concludes our presentation for today, and thank you very much for your time.